everyone, Pam here from StackSocial. Here again this week to talk a little bit about some of our hottest, coolest products. So today we're going to be talking about this wonderful product right here, which is the Adonit Jot Touch. So what is it? It's a stylus, as you can see, and it's meant to be used for Apple iOS devices. So really mainly this is meant to be used for like an iPad Pro or an iPad mini or whatever size iPad you have. And it's got some really amazing features that we're gonna get into. So first of all, here's the packaging, which is really awesome. They do a wonderful job with the box that it comes in. And first thing I noticed that I think is something really interesting is it actually feels like a pen. If you're somebody who uses styluses a lot, if you like animating or doing anything on a really big tablet, you've probably tried a couple different styluses. Now, one thing that I really don't like about styluses is sometimes they're really big, they're bulky. It kind of feels like you're trying to draw with like a highlighter or like, you know, something really thick that just doesn't really sit in your hand quite like a pen would, which is what the stylus is meant to imitate. It's meant to imitate a writing implement. So this one, right off the bat, is awesome because it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit thinner. You can see here, obviously I have kind of smaller hands, but you can see how it fits into my hands. It's about the size of, you know, a little bit larger than your average pen. So it's really nice to hold. Now, a couple other really cool features about the Adonit Jot Touch. First of all, right here you can see there are two different buttons here, and these are programmable shortcut buttons. So if you're somebody who's in Adobe, let's say, in one of their programs, and you're drawing, and you're somebody who uses it a lot for work or for fun, and you have a couple shortcuts that you want to program, a couple of different features that you might want to always have at hand instead of having to click back and forth on the screen, you can program these two buttons to actually be features on whatever program that you're using, which is really helpful if you're somebody who, let's say you want copy-paste, something super simple like that, and you just want to be able to copy-paste, instead of having to go back and forth on the menu, which is really cool. It's a huge time saver, especially for someone who's using this for work and you're trying to be as efficient as possible. These shortcut buttons are really awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about how it actually works and why this stylus is really awesome and why we're featuring it today. So one thing is styluses, some styluses don't always have the best pressure sensors. So what does that mean? That means that much like your finger, let's say, if you're on your iPad and you're pressing down, you want to be able to increase the pressure and have, let's say, if you're drawing with like a brush on a program where you're sketching and you want it to look like, let's say, watercolor or oil paint or whatever. If you press down harder, it should imitate reality, which is, you know, if I'm drawing with a watercolor brush and I press down harder, the stroke should get broader and larger and darker. So essentially, the Jot Touch has over 2,000 levels of pressure sensitivity, which is really awesome. It means that the more you press down, it has more levels of sensitivity, so it senses the pressure and will imitate that accordingly on the screen. So I don't have an iPad for us today, but I just wanted to show just get a feel for what it looks like when you're drawing with it. So I'm going to get a little closer here to the camera. And here we just have, you know, notes on an iPhone, and I hit the marker, and here you can see, ooh, woo. Hold on one sec, let me actually select everything. There we go. Uh-oh, the iPhone's acting up a little bit. But anyway, sorry guys. So we'll get back to the features. Unfortunately, the iPhone seems to be having a bit of a fit. But It does have really awesome pressure sensitivity. Another thing that it has that I noticed from testing it earlier this week is it was able to really, really seamlessly draw without any sort of latency So if you've tried any sort of stylus before, you know that sometimes they're not great at, for example, you know, you put it down on the iPad and you start drawing, and there's a little bit of a lag between what you're drawing or writing and the stylus actually producing that on the screen. This one has very little of that, which is really great. It means that you don't even have to think about it, and that's kind of the whole idea behind latency in styluses. Is you shouldn't even notice a delay. It should just be as if your pen is your finger. You know, everything's happening in real time. So that's something that's a really awesome feature of the Jot Touch. And part of why it is so great at having almost no latency at all is that it's Bluetooth connected. So you can pair this with your iPad, your iOS device of any kind, and it will actually be synced to your phone. So not only does it detect the actual stylus, you know, on the surface, it also detects it via Bluetooth that, oh, you know, there's a Jot Touch that's attached. So it understands that you're drawing with a stylus and kind of works accordingly, which is really awesome. So I mentioned the 2 shortcut buttons. It's got awesome pressure sensitivity. Another thing that it does a really good job of, which, you know, we can't really see on the iPhone because the iPhone is so small, is it does have also, oh, here we go. There we go. Let's do a quick demo here. Sorry, the iPhone was having a little bit of a hard time earlier, but whee! See, so you can see there's like basically no lag at all, which is really awesome. And that's exactly what you want to see in a stylus. You want something that has, where you don't even notice that you're drawing with an implement. And this has been awesome. I've been using it on and off just on my phone, drawing little doodles here and there, and let me tell you, it's really awesome by way of styluses. I've used a couple other ones, and like I said, they're kind of bulky. The tip isn't always the thinnest, so it feels kind of clunky, but this one feels really nice. Like I said, there's no lag. And another thing that it does on tablets, which like I said, I can't really demo on a small iPhone, is palm rejection. So just so that I can illustrate this, let's say that this is an iPad. Obviously it's not, but let's imagine that it's a little bit bigger. If I want to write something and I put my palm down to write, I want it to make sure that it doesn't detect my palm, that it just detects the stylus. And that way I can put my entire palm down on the tablet and be drawing, and my palm will not be detected and it won't mess up the stylus. So part of that technology is Bluetooth connectivity, is being able to pair your stylus to your iOS device helps dramatically in order to allow you to have palm rejection, which is a huge feature that, you know, early styluses obviously did not have, but the Jot Touch does, which is really great. So if you're on an iPad Pro and you're drawing something, you know, really elaborate, you can put basically your whole arm on there, and it will only detect what the Jot Touch is doing. Other interesting features are, obviously, since it's Bluetooth connected, it does require a bit of a charge. I will show you here this nifty little charger that it comes with. Very small, which is really great. It doesn't take up too much space. It's just this right here. It comes with USB on one end and this little circle magnet on the other. So you basically plug this into your computer and set this down, and it's a magnet, so it won't necessarily fall over unless you maybe, you know, accidentally swat it off of this little USB charger. But this is really great. Once it's fully charged, it won't need to be recharged for another 11 hours. So it gives you a lot for the battery, which is awesome, because there's nothing worse than having to charge something a million times just to get enough use for a few hours. One last feature that is of note is that it is also one of the first styluses to connect to Adobe Creative Cloud. So you can set up this stylus and connect it to your Creative Cloud account, and it just allows you to pull up files, copy things between devices. So if you're working on your computer and then you're working on your iPad, you can kind of go back and forth, and the Jot Touch will enable that. So that is also something that's really awesome, because most people who are using styluses for really heavy design work are doing so in Adobe Creative Cloud most likely. So yeah, the Jot Touch has some really great features. I've had a blast using it the past couple of days, even just on an iPhone. It's really fun to be able to draw things, and it feels really great. I can't stress that enough. It's very, very easy to use, and it fits just in the palm of your hands. Fits just like a pen. It's really great. I'm not one that normally likes doing kind of handwritten notes on an iPad or an iPhone, and this has been really, really awesome. So yeah, right now we have it on StackSocial for $39.99, which is probably the cheapest price out there. It's cheaper than if you get it on the Adonit website. And this is going to be live for a little bit longer, but I highly recommend, if you're somebody who uses styluses a lot, or you're looking to use a stylus, you have an iPad and you kind of want to do some doodling, this is a great investment. You're not going to be sorry about it. It's great for somebody who uses it a lot or a little, no matter what. Great product. All right, so that's the Jot Touch. The link is in the description if you want to find out more and you want to go to the StackSocial and check it out. But have a great day, and I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about the Jot Touch. Thanks, everybody.